views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the program host and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by TCN TV Network Incorporated. Due to the social nature of this broadcasting channel, videos may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. The TCN TV Network claims no rights to the said content. TCN TV Network cannot be held accountable for the copyrighted content. TCN TV Network is a messenger and sharer of information and strives to verify but cannot warrant the accuracy of copyrights or completeness of the information on this program.
Good evening and welcome to On Point, your #1 political and current affairs program, broadcasting to you live from the studios of TCN Network here in the beautiful city of Brampton. This evening we are once again talking politics. We have an election coming up in just over 80 days, and we want to discuss the issues of importance to you as Canadians, issues you should be considering as we prepare to go to the polls in October. Before we get there, today is a very special day, and as someone of Jamaican descent, let me take a few minutes just to wish my home country, my country of my birth, Jamaica, a happy 57th independence. And to all Jamaicans at home and abroad, I hope that you will have a wonderful day as you celebrate. Jamaica has embraced the tenets of democracy. We have a peaceful transfer of power from one election cycle to the next. It's booming in terms of infrastructural development. Tourist arrivals are up. The crime is getting under control. So Jamaica has done very well for itself. I want to say happy independence to Jamaica. We want to come back this evening to politics in Brampton as we prepare for the upcoming federal election. This evening we're taking a look at some of the seats in Brampton and who are the contenders, what should we expect in the upcoming election. So Brampton West is under the microscope. This evening we have invited all three candidates to come and to have a conversation with us. So far, the MP candidates for the Conservatives have accepted our invitation, and we will have a talk with him very soon. We are not able to have the Liberal candidate nor the NDP candidate joining us. We still extend the invitation, and if at any point they wish to join us, we'll be more than happy to have a talk with them. With me this evening is attorney at law and our political commentator, Wesley Jackson. Wesley, always good to have you.
Glad to be here, Jermaine. Thank you.
Okay. This evening we're taking a look at Brampton West. And let's take a look at the map. For those who don't know where Brampton West is, we have a map for you. We'll put that map up. You're currently being represented by the Liberals, MP Kamel Kira. Wesley, Brampton West is a very diverse, a very large part of Brampton. You know, it's in the northwest end of the city. Takes into consideration, you know, the new areas of Mount Pleasant, Fletcher's Meadows, that very wide cross section of an area. What are some of the issues as you think about the constituency? First of all, what are some of the things that pops to mind when we think of Brampton West, the area itself?
Well, anytime you talk about Brampton, you immediately run into the sprawl question. Mm-hmm. And large portions of Brampton West are going to struggle with that. We also have the Kitchener rail corridor running right through the heart of that district. So what are we going to do around Mount Pleasant to tackle the issues of sprawl, intensification, public transit? Are we going to get a federal commitment to help us achieve all-day two-way go to Mount Pleasant? You know, they're tunneling to the 401, but not quite to Bramalea Station to get us that all-day two-way go. So I know when people knock on my door, those are the issues I'm asking about.
Yes, you know, as you mentioned that, you know, let's talk about the development in that area for a little bit, because the character of Brampton West has changed significantly. You know, we have a big development taking place there at Mount Pleasant. We still have a lot of unused lands. In that area. We're not sure, you know, what development will take place there. But as what we have seen is a lot of housing take place in that area. As you mentioned, with housing comes the cost for transit. So we're thinking that, you know, in terms of an election issue, transit has to be, you know, top of mind for individuals in Brampton West?
Absolutely. So I'm gonna date myself a little bit. Growing up in Heart Lake in the 80s, we used to drive out to the apple factory.
The apple factory.
Speaking of the developments in housing, there's a lot of question marks around that super mega mall that's supposed to be built right up the street from the apple factory. If you go to the apple factory, and I was there this weekend, there's a sign, despite the rumors, we're not going anywhere. So it really highlights a lot of the lack of communication that I think citizens have about what are the plans, what is the status of the plans, where are we in terms of development. If decisions are being made around housing development, around the assumption that this mega mall is being built, and it doesn't come to fruition, where does that leave us?
Yeah, and just kind of plug there. People might hear mention the mega mall, but the issue here is that what one of the things that is being spread about in Brampton is that Brampton West area is scheduled to have one of the biggest malls in North America that we're told would rival even the West Edmonton Mall. So that's the nature and the scale of the development that people are expecting to come to that area. So some residents, as you rightly say, would be now purchasing houses in that area with the expectation that this great development will come and they can capitalize on that. How important is it then for those who are running at the federal level to make sure, one, we have the investments that Brampton needs in terms of our infrastructure, our roads, our bridges are up to par in terms of partnering with the city, for things like transit, not just in terms of the GO corridor, but transit to be able to move people around. Brampton is being credited as having one of the best transit systems. So are these developments putting additional pressure on the transit system, and do we need greater investments from whoever becomes a member of parliament for that area to really stand up and advocate for them?
Well, think about the possibilities. Imagine if the Up Express ran from Union to Pearson, then from Pearson along the GO corridor to the new mega mall. Imagine what that opens up. Imagine opening up some extra Zoom lines along Sandalwood, north-south along Mississauga Road and all the northwest corridors. Imagine a Zoom line that ran from Mayfield Road all the way down to Lakeshore along the west end of the city, and some of the redevelopment and investment that could attract. It's going to take all three levels of government. And so I really want to see a commitment from all the parties that they're going to work with the province, they're going to work with the city, they're going to fund our needs, because they aren't just local questions, they're really regional integration questions, and I think that's really key.
As you mentioned that, with the regional connectivity, one of the things that we hear a lot of questions about, individuals talk about the cancellation or the withdrawal of funding for the LRT project coming into downtown at Steeles. Well, it's actually coming to Steeles. But as we mentioned, if there's going to be this wide development going all the way in the Brampton West area, how important, therefore, for one idea that was floated, for that LRT project to go all the way to Mayfield Road. So would we need somebody in Brampton West to champion with the federal government to come to the table to get the necessary investments to bring that LRT project all the way to Mayfield?
Oh, without a doubt, it's number one priority. We have to, picture once that development is fully built out, that mega mall is there, you live there and you need to commute. Where are you going in less than 2 hours? You're not going to be able to get out of the city in 2 hours. The transit piece is key. Linking it to the airport is key. That's going to draw the investment dollars away from between Pearson and Union to west and north of Pearson. And that's going to be key for not only the ward, not only the district, but for the city, for the region, getting right up into Caledon, because you're right there on Mayfield Road. It can't be understated how important it is for our federal partners to come to the table for Brampton in a way that really delivers.
And that will take this great, strong advocacy from whoever the new member of parliament for Brampton West turns out to be. Many more other issues that we want to look at and touch on as it relates to Brampton West and that area. We know, for example, safety and security. Crime is a concern, particularly in the Mount Pleasant area. As we say, it's a new area, it's a new development. People are still trying to find their footing in that area. So, we tend to see a lot of crime operating there. When we come back from the break, Wesley, we want to take a look at this particular issue, and we're hoping to be joined by the gentleman who wants to be the next member of parliament for Brampton West. Our Conservative candidate is coming. Stay with us as we go to the commercial break. This is On Point.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
My name is Trish Curling, and I am an online coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher, and your new host of Shaping Life, which is all about understanding that we have the ability and the control to take charge of our health and wellness. But we can't do it alone, and I can't wait to sit down with the best in the industry. Please tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. live here on the TCN Network.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. May your dreams all come true. Happy birthday to you.
We refuse to promote, report on anything negative in the community.
My name is Trish Curling, and I am an online coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher, and your new host of Shaping Life, which is all about understanding that we have the ability and the control to take charge of our health and wellness. But we can't do it alone, and I can't wait to sit down with the best in the industry. Please tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. live here on the TCN Network.
Welcome back to On Point, your number one political and current affairs talk show program. With us this evening, we are taking a look at the upcoming federal election. We are just over 80 days away, coming up in October. And we are looking at Brampton's politics. And we're taking a great look at Brampton West. We have joining us the candidate for the Conservative Party of Canada, who wants to be the next member of Parliament in Brampton West. You have a name which is very challenging sometimes to pronounce. So go ahead and introduce yourself to the listeners and to the people of Brampton and Canadians who are listening all around.
Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm Murarilal Thapliyal. As Brother Jermaine said, that my name is difficult. It is not so hard. As a Murarilal Thapliyal, Brampton West Conservative Party of Canada. And I born in India in Himalayan village in the year 1965 in a very poor farmer family. And with the struggle, I came to Canada in 2003 with my wife and 2 children. Having said that, I heard about Canada is a dreamland, lands of opportunity. Therefore, I decided to immigrate to Canada, and I'm a landed immigrant.
So you came from India, you came to Canada. How has it been for you? What do you currently do now as a citizen of Canada? What's your profession? What are you into?
By profession, I'm a lawyer, known as Thapliyal and Raya Professional Law Corporation in Brampton, practicing more than a decade. That is more than 11 years I'm practicing in Brampton. I am well connected to the Brampton West, as I'm a real estate lawyer and I know more than 5,000 families in person.
Okay.
Having said that, I came to understand that Brampton West was completely neglected by the Liberal Party MP Kamal Khera. As so many people, so many families comes to the law office with their different issues, different problems, and we always suggest why you don't talk to your MP to resolve the issues. But unfortunate part, the people say, who is our MP, even we doesn't know. It was surprising and shocking to me, as the Brampton West was left behind for many years by Liberal government, and that's the reason that I decided to run, as I have a passion to serve the multicultural community.
All right, so you're saying that before entering this, you were not involved in politics before, but you're working as a lawyer. But people were asking you questions that motivated you to kind of decide to run for office?
Basically, I was helping Conservative Party and the members in the past. I joined Conservative Party in 2013.
Okay.
So I was helping Honorable Balgosal
Okay.
from the center, as I was fundraising chair for Balgosal for a long time.
Okay.
And by understanding, I thought that by standing sideline, it does not help to our community. By the way, I'm award winner for multicultural community for Asia Award 2018,
Okay.
and Citizen Award for long serving, more than 10 years from the mayor, there's a Patrick Brown, for the year 2018. So
Congratulations.
being the award winner for multicultural community, I have a passion to serve multicultural community, and the Brampton West is complete, diverse, multicultural community. I have a love and passion to serve our community.
All right, so let's look at that a bit. As you mentioned, Brampton West is a very, very multicultural area, very wide family. What are some of the issues that you're hoping to work on should you become the Member of Parliament for Brampton West?
Very good question. Thank you so much for asking this question. This is a burning question, burning issues of Brampton West. Brampton West, we are lacking in infrastructure. We are left behind for medical attention. We are left behind for security, safety of our families, our culture. The gun violence, the violence at high, there's a peak, uncontrolled violence in Brampton. That is worrying me and my team. That is a team Thapliyal. Having said that, we need strict laws and implementation. Gun violence is not tolerated by any community in this country. This is a peaceful country, and we came all the way from India with the dream that we are landing to multicultural community, which is a safe and safest country of the world. But today it is not happening. The Liberal government is completely failed. The Member of Parliament from Brampton West is completely failed. With that worry, I am committed to serve multicultural community by way of bringing strict laws, so the government should curb the violence and the people should think twice before they commit crime. The question comes here, why the people commit crime? Because lack of employment, lack of education. So for that we need university here. We need technical university, which is lacking more than 700,000 people in Brampton. We don't have university. The least funded hospital of Ontario, where our government will be committed to provide more funding to the hospitals, medical facilities, social securities. That is guaranteed by our leader, Honorable Andrew Scheer, when he become October 22nd, 2019, when he will be the Prime Minister of Canada.
All right, great. So we also were talking earlier before you came on about some of the infrastructural needs in Brampton West. You know, it is rumored or being said that there's a mega mall that is scheduled to come to Brampton West. You know, that will kind of create some pressure for infrastructure. Can you give any commitments to the people of Brampton West? You know, that your government, as an MP, you will seek investment in things like transit to make sure we have proper funding for transit to kind of deal with the extended traffic and to move people around that will be expected from a development like a mega mall coming to Brampton West.
Thank you so much. That's a good feedback. Again, I promise to our multicultural community of Brampton West, I am committed. I assured our voters, our Brampton West residents, that we will provide the best infrastructure for Brampton West. That's called mega mall, then transportation, highway, LRT, whatever possible ways to reduce the traffic time, to eliminate the traffic time. We will do our best, and that's my promise that more share funding will be done during our government. And the Honorable Andrew Scheer is well aware that Brampton was left behind long time in Liberal time, and he promised us that he will do the best, being Prime Minister of Canada in the month of October 2011, and we are firm believer that we will do our best to resolve the infrastructure issue, to bring university to, the most funding, the taxpayer money is collected by federal, and the federal distribute to the province and then city and then the ward wise. But actual, who is the watching dog, who is the watchdog for that fund? Member of Parliament, which is completely failed, not done so far. But I will be the servant of public. I'm not here like Member of Parliament is the public servant. I will be paid by the taxpayer money, and I will ensure I'm committed as a lawyer that with work, honesty, integrity, reliability, and accountability. That is the four fundamentals. I'll work more than 16 hours a day being Member of Parliament to resolve the Brampton West issues.
All right, thank you so very much. We are up on the break. We have to go to a break, but very quickly, how can residents out there connect with you to hear more about your platform, more about if they want to support you or learn more about you and your platform? How can they connect with you?
As I told before that I'm a lawyer, we understand the issues of youth. Most of the youths are dropped by universities, the lacking of funding, grants, the vision, technical knowledge, technical skills, lack of universities, all these issues. So we will bring the best youth program with interacting with the people, the youth, hear them that what they need, what best we can do. And we will be liaising with 3 levels of government, that's the municipal, provincial, and federal. That is my commitment. And we will resolve all the issues of youth, senior, children, every stage, every age of the people of Brampton West.
Okay. Do you have a website, email address, social media? Can they connect with you on social media, website, or anything like that to hear more about your platform and to support you?
I would request to each and everyone from Brampton West, please contact our campaign number 647-970-6111. Once again, 647-970-6111. Email Thapliyal, THAPLIYALBW@gmail.com, and website www.murarilalthapliyal.ca. It's a simple murarilalthapliyal.ca. And I would like to request you to please join our campaign. Get me elected on 21st October. This is my promise. In 4 years, I will change Brampton West.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Thapliyal, for coming in, for talking to the residents of Brampton West. We wish you best wishes as you go into your campaign. We're up on the break, way past our time. This is On Point. We'll take the break and we'll come back. Thank you very much.
With so many newspapers within the community, it's sometimes hard to tell what separates us from the rest. Most of the time, they all brag about the same thing. You know, the large circulations, tons of online views, and it can go on and on. But what really separates the Toronto Caribbean newspaper apart from everybody else? Well, it's simple. Our service. No, seriously. Hi, I'm Grant Browning, founder and CEO of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. I have over 20 years of branding and marketing experience, and I've worked with countless companies and corporations to do one thing, and that is to raise their profits with their brand. With over 40 years of combined experience in branding and marketing, our amazing staff is fully prepared to sit down and figure out exactly what you need to stand out from your competitors.
The reason why you don't see that anymore is because
the ad is too powerful, bring too much people.
So what are you waiting for? Give us a call today. We'll be happy to help.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. May your dreams all come true. Happy birthday to you.
We refuse to promote, report on anything negative in the community.
Jackson, is he there? Is there? Are we live now? Oh no, we live? Oh.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. This is On Point, your number one political and current affairs talk show. Wesley Jackson, your impression? We just heard from the Conservative candidate in Brampton West, indicating that he is the best choice to represent the people of Brampton West. And then we'll swing by to hear Mario Russo's thoughts on that as well.
We're definitely going to have him back in the future to expand on some of his points after we've met some of the other candidates. I like that he seems to be in tune with some of the big picture issues in his ward. I do want to hear more from him on some of the specifics of what he's talking about coming down from the federal platform. But I think we have to watch all the parties and all their platforms as they come down to address our local issues. One of the things I wanted to circle back on before we went to break, before our guest arrived, you were talking about crime in the ward. And I was my follow-up question was, what kind of crime issues are you finding are concerning people the most? Is it property crime? Is it crimes of violence? We heard a little bit about guns and violence, and obviously I believe there were 15 shootings over the long weekend in Toronto and the GTA. Obviously there's some sensitivity around gun violence in the United States this past weekend. I know that issue is definitely going to still be front and center. It was front and center in the municipal election. I think it's going to be front and center on the federal election.
Yeah. Before we get into that, as well, a lot of property crimes is taking place, particularly in the Mount Pleasant area. People are, waking up to things gone missing. People are, walking to people's yards, taking up stuff like that. So that's going to be a big issue for the new member of parliament to look at. How do they work with the community to keep people safe? And Mario Russo, you were there, you were listening. Your thoughts as it relates to Mr. Murarilal, who wants to be the new member of parliament for Brampton West?
Well, to Wesley's point, I think there's an expansion on the details need to be derived, and we need to get us some further information. But the key components, I think, are there. I liked hearing the concept of crime and safety, as Wesley had indicated, which crimes, irrelevant crime itself, the legislation is what's lacking. Because even when we were on the municipal side, we promises of curbing the crime and safety issues, but it is an integrated approach. It is a provincial and federal team working together that we're ever going to get there. So from the federal level, I want to see some legislation changes that we're actually able to hold people accountable, support our Peel Regional Police and whomever, because we see a turn when it comes to people marking those crimes and the that is actually dealt to them. So these are the things that I like to hear, and these are the aspects that I want to have some type of clarity on. But I like to hear that we're recognizing that at this point in time.
Wesley Jackson, does he have a point here to stand on? It's unfortunate that we don't have the current member of parliament, Kamal Kiro, to kind of come on to talk to us a little bit about her stewardship in the last 4 years. But he criticized her for being absent, for not properly representing the people. We saw, for example, in December last year, where some $7 million was awarded to the city of Toronto to deal with gun violence and crime, while there was no such award made to Brampton. How important will it therefore be that we have a member of parliament who's going to go to his or her federal counterpart to say, listen, we need money to fight crime in Brampton West and really get those resources?
I said this in the municipal election cycle. Brampton has to take a lot more pride in itself, and it has to stand up for itself, and it has to fight for itself. And often we can become complacent with our higher levels of government and not stick up for ourselves. I don't want to victim blame, but we don't have an average level of funding for healthcare. We don't have an average number of police officers compared to other municipalities of our size. And the buck has to stop somewhere. So is it fair to point at the current MPs and say, well, this is your fault? The current MPPs and say, well, this is your fault? It may not be fair, but that's the reality of politics. I have to look at the results of your policies and assume that's how we got where we are. So even the incumbents, to my mind, need to stand up and take ownership of where we stand today and say, yes, it's Brampton's time. And if we haven't done enough in the past, we will do more in the future. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a politician owning where we are today in order to make it better. I don't want to hear a lot of denial from my candidate, so I'll tell you that.
Mario, I want to get back to, since Mr. Murarilal Thapliyal was the only one we have on this evening, let's talk a little bit about his story, and that being, by an extent and by and large, the Canadian story. You know, he mentioned that he came here with his wife and 2 kids from India, have a law practice in Brampton for about 11 years. And now, you know, he wants to be a member of parliament serving here in Brampton. How much of a Canadian story, a success story, is this? And you know, people being able to immigrate to Canada and to integrate within society and to offer themselves a service.
Well, it is essentially the Canadian dream. Me, myself, being a son of an immigrant, these are things and stories that resonate with myself and with a lot of people in the community. We live in a country that affords us the privilege of being able to start from nowhere, essentially economically, and potentially become lawmakers and legislative bodies. It's the fundamental key component of democracy. But at the same time, I think it's important, and these are the questions that the voters need to be asking, is what is the resume? What is the candidates? What do they have to offer? And ultimately, one of the things I like hearing from the candidate there is the fact that he is potentially a public servant. And we are all so busy in our everyday life to try and define and get the information from all these things. We're hoping that our elected officials take the time, do research, and vote on our behalf. And that's where I think the immigration story and that type of philosophy resonates with a lot of people, in particular in Brampton West, with a large portion of the constituency being made up of an immigrant community.
You know, he mentioned a lot about Brampton West being a multicultural community, and the award he received for serving in multicultural communities. And that might be so. I think Brampton West is one of the most diverse areas that we have in Brampton. You know, we have a number of young people who are hoping, by virtue of where the GO Transit hub is, hoping to kind of move into that area, jump on the go into Brampton. You know, how important it is that, you know, we have a member of parliament who kind of understand all these moving parts and moving issues. Let's say we might have to bring him back to come, you know, to say, you know, there's a lot more that needs to be done in that area in terms of housing, not just the single family dwellings that we are currently having there, but, you know, is there a need for someone to champion, you know, do we now move into multi-level dwellings, you know, condo developments and stuff like that to kind of get more young people even invested in that area to bring it forward?
Yeah, like I say, I look forward to all the candidates expanding on those issues and telling us, how the federal government can help. I know the federal government walked away from its cooperative housing strategy some years ago. I'd like to see a return to a cooperative housing strategy to address affordable housing and intergenerational housing in a respectful way that teaches people skills and financial accounting and management skills at the same time as assisting them with their housing situation. So I'd like to hear more. I definitely think Brampton West would be well served by someone who is tapped into our multicultural nature of the Brampton community. So that's going to serve him well.
Yeah, when we come back from the break, we're going to take a look into the numbers, into the political game to see, you know, who can best play, get the votes out, who can best, what have been the historical voting pattern of the area, and to see, you know, who can get these votes to become the next member of parliament in Brampton West. This is On Point. Stay with us. We're looking at the upcoming 43rd federal election.
At Benjamin Law, we understand the real cost of personal injuries. As the victim of an accident, you may be the one who's physically hurt, but your main concern is that your family are the ones who will pay the price. Benjamin Law will be there for you, helping, supporting, and working tirelessly to resolve your personal injury case. Call 1-855-899-4878 or visit benjaminlaw.ca and let our family of lawyers help your family.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
My name is Trish Curling, and I am an online coach, personal trainer, and yoga teacher, and your new host of Shaping Life, which is all about understanding that we have the ability and the control to take charge of our health and wellness. But we can't do it alone, and I can't wait to sit down with the best in the industry. Please tune in every Friday at 1 p.m. live here on the TCN Network.
On Point, your number one political and current affairs talk show program. We are focusing on the upcoming federal election. Coming up October 21st, the people of Canada will go to the polls to elect the next member of parliament for their particular areas and next prime minister to lead our country. This evening, we're taking a look at Brampton West. Current MP there, Kamal Kira, in the last election, she was able to amass a total of 24,256 votes out of a total of 71,000 to become the member of parliament. Before her, the riding was held by the Conservatives, MP Kyle Seaback, who is no longer seeking re-election in that area but has moved on to Caledon Dufferin South, where he's now running. These are the votes that they are running for. Mario, Wesley, who do we think so far? What will this election come down to in Brampton, particularly Brampton West? This is one of the seats that are important for all the political parties to take a look at. You know, the numbers last time around, you know, we had a red wave. The Liberals took it over. I think the Conservatives in Brampton West came in second place. The NDP were in third place. I'm not sure the correlation between, you know, sometimes the federal results and the provincial results. But just last year in the provincial results, we saw that Amarjot Sandhu was able to reverse some gains there, where the seat was picked up by the Progressive Conservatives in Ontario, and the Liberals were actually in third place. You know, just 2015, Liberals were in first place, Conservatives in second, NDP in third. But this time around, we saw at the provincial level, the Conservatives were in first place, the NDP in second, and the Liberals in third. Mario, should Kamal Kira be worried with these numbers?
I think everyone running should be worried. If you're not worried, that means you're not hitting enough doors. And to your point, or to your question, how is this going to be won? It's going to be who hits the most amount of doors and who resonates with the constituents. Brampton West and Brampton South prior were one riding. They merged or split, if you will, as you mentioned, I believe in the last election.
Yes.
The growth, particular in the west side and the north side of the city, swelled. So the turnover, if anyone's run an election, the difficulty is that you're not going to be able to keep track of all the doors from 4 years, because there's probably been a high magnitude of turnover. So it's about getting to the doors. It's about message across. I think there's safety in Liberal, Conservative, NDP. It's in hopefully understanding the issues and getting to the doors and having the residents decide based on those facts and based on their feeling that they get when you get to that door. So that's going to be the challenge, because they are many doors in the riding.
Well, it's a very big area. It's a very huge area in terms of the square footage of the place. But you look at these numbers, though. Same question over to you. Look at these numbers in terms of where it's coming from. A strong conservative win by Kyle Seaback back in 2011, even though it was a much bigger riding. So we saw some changes in 2015. It's a new riding since 2015. We saw Kamal Kira bringing it home in 2015. At the provincial level, we see Amar Jot Sandhu came and reversed that, put the Liberals in third position. Should Kamal Kira be worried here?
Well, it's a really funny dynamic because, I was listening to Conrad Black on the radio talk about trying to unseat Donald Trump in an environment of a positive economy. Mm-hmm. So the Liberals in Canada are also getting to ride that wave. When there's a positive economy, it's hard to unseat an incumbent. So to Mario's point, if the candidates can knock on the doors and tell a story about making real change, positive change in the ward will flip. Mm-hmm. But if they fail to make a significant impression, the status quo will probably rule out, just because the economy is currently doing quite well. And in fact, the conditions in that ward are doing quite well. When you drive up Mississauga Road north of Queen, it's all new development. Everything looks good. Yeah. The new park at Sandalwood and I think it's Credit View is gorgeous. Yeah. The new housing, gorgeous. None of the problems of new construction have started to rear their ugly head. Nothing has fallen apart yet. So when things are going well, people tend to batten down the hatch and stay the course. So the challengers for the seat have a really important story to tell on how they will make a positive difference, not just a difference that'll scare people. Yeah. And I think they're going to have to be specific.
Mario, we don't want to make people's heads spin, because sometimes people have a bit of difficulty understanding the politics of it all. But to Wesley's point, in Brampton West, it's a new area. The development is going well. Everything looks new. That park at Sandalwood, for example, I know the Liberals did some investment in there in terms of improving the trail. So I'm sure Kamal Kira will take some credit for that. But people are also looking at the Member of Parliament. They're also looking at who they want to be Prime Minister. They're looking at the performance of Justin Trudeau. How is all that going to factor into what goes on at the ballot box in Brampton West?
Well, I think party politics is always derived or stems from the leader. Most people don't even understand respectfully whom their candidates are. A lot of the times they're voting for either Justin Trudeau, Andrew Scheer, or Jagmeet Singh. That's going to be a lot. You're held accountable. You may be the best candidate potentially, but if your leader doesn't come across as a true leader, you're going to fail, and vice versa. So that's going to be the last couple of months here, how the leaders perform their debates and media and so forth. But stepping back a while, and to Wesley's point, there is a lot of nice things in Brampton West. It's a newer area. With that comes some of the struggles. And when I say struggles, it comes back to those infrastructure struggles. Anyone that's tried to drive across Mayfield at 4 p.m. says that, going west on Mayfield is ridiculous. Anyone that's or Sandalwood, absolutely, Wanless. Anyone that's actually at Mount Pleasant, either in the AM or in the PM, trying to take the GO train, recognizes those challenges. So that becomes the riding issues. And when I say riding, the riding geography, and it becomes who can actually get those points across and really address those issues. That's when people that live in those constituency or in that area understand those issues. I live in that area. So you give me an answer of how you're going to address that Mayfield issue, I'm going to listen. You really give me an all-day two-way GO solution, I think I'm going to listen, and I'm going to be jumping on that bandwagon with 4 flags, because those are the issues that not only resonate to the community, but will be the ongoing legacy of Brampton.
Some of those issues, as you mentioned, though, are also wrapped up in the provincial. So you're talking about having a candidate then who can also best work across the different levels of government. Wesley, to what extent does, therefore, considering all those issues and they are all intertwined, to what extent, therefore, we see the relationship between Justin Trudeau and Doug Ford deteriorating, between Justin Trudeau and Jason Kennedy in Alberta deteriorating, Scott Moe out in Saskatchewan as well deteriorating with all these relationships. Does a candidate at some point try to separate themselves from the leader to say, listen, I mean, my party may be doing this, or Justin Trudeau's relationship with the provinces may be doing this, but I can work with the province. We also see, for example, a number of, if you follow Kamala Kira on social media, she also takes a number of jobs at the provincial government at Doug Ford. How important, I mean, does a candidate have to at some point try to separate themselves from their leader? And would that work, particularly in Brampton West in this election?
Well, I'm going to say no for two reasons. First and foremost, I think a lot of people in Brampton are viewing those dynamics very cynically, and they view it as the premiers coordinating an attack on the federal Liberals with for the purposes of promoting the federal Conservative Party. Whether that's true or not, I have no idea. The second reason why I say no is look at who Brampton elected as mayor. Do you think Brampton is afraid of fighting with the premier? Absolutely not. Patrick Brown took it as a point of pride that he would stand up to our premier and take the fight to the premier, and that resonated with Brampton voters. So I think strategically, as MP candidates, picking that as your issue might be a miss in this jurisdiction.
Okay. Mario, so we had a chance to meet the NDP candidate. As we saw her on the weekend. I was at an event where she gave a talk at an event where I was on the weekend. What do these candidates need to do as we go down to the last minute here now in the program? What does each of these candidates need to do to get their message out to the voters? Is it social media game, the website game? What are these candidates need to be doing now to kind of connect with voters out there in Brampton West?
I think it's all of the above. You need going out there with and getting your message across. That being said, I will step back and say hitting the doors and understand issues important in West. I did meet the candidate as well. She's intelligent and articulate. I don't know if people in the area recognize her yet, so that's going to be her challenge. Both the candidates from the CPC and the Liberal Party, Kamal Kara, are both Muriel. They are been out there for quite a while, so most people have seen them. It's going to be whom can represent the issues of Brampton West the best and get that message across.
And with that, we have to bring the program to an end. We're out of time for this evening. We hope we have brought some good information to the people of Brampton West, that you will know who your candidates are, what the issues are, and that you'll go out there on October 21st and cast your votes. Thank you again, Mario Russo, for coming on. Thank you, Wesley Jackson, for coming on. And join us again next Tuesday when we will take another look at the upcoming federal election. This has been On Point.